It was 1941 before the United... Oh, shoot.
Keep going.
Hello!
Okay, just restart, hurry.
Hello, I am Chloe Williams, and today I'll be talking to you about the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. It was 1941 before the United States was involved in World War II. Oveta Hobby was asked by General David to organize the WAAC, which is also known as the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. When Hobby first asked the officer, she wanted to decline the offer, but would ultimately take and develop into a part of history that will never ever be forgotten. These great women that served in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps made a monumental impact during and after the war through their patriotism, hard work, and dedication. It was later, after the attack on Pearl Harbor, the War Department began to put in order a peace wartime draft that would help the women be in the war because that's what they felt was needed. And that it was not that much later that the woman got mad that it was first tossed aside and rarely looked at. That angered the women, and after that moment in time, they began to send letters saying how angry they were, and the only reason they wanted to be was to show how many rights they had in their country. To some people, women only think that women are maids, caretakers, or cooks, and that's when they decided it was time to make a change. According to Chief Warrant Redfern, I think that the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps allowed us to slowly demonstrate our abilities to serve in the armed forces and services as equals. Although the women could only serve as female components, they still had to learn how to adapt to different jobs for them expected of the war. The women of the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps were filled with positions in many different types of categories. Some jobs of the women were being clerks, drivers, mechanics, cooks, radio operators, weather observers, laboratory technicians, aircraft warning reporters, and weapon repairers. For the course of World War II, more than 150,000 women served in the Army, and in addition to helping persevere democracy, these women overcame conflict. They performed brilliantly and laid the groundwork on which military women's efforts and achievements still rest today. The women were expected of higher standards because when first the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps peace wartime draft came out, the people who were attracted to the WAAC wanted to push themselves to pass the minimum standard expected. So, and the further they pushed themselves, that's how a lot of the positive outcomes came, and that's what helped win the war. Today, the concept of women being involved in the military does not sound out of ordinary to people. However, due to the extraordinary women of the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps, they changed the way people would mentally feel about how women can make such a huge impact on their country today. They proved others wrong by the great women that served in the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. They made a monumental impact during and after the war through their patriotism, hard work, and dedication.
Thank you, Mr. New Genius.
What?